This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with your host, Rowena Patton, a show that focuses on the real estate market in terms you can easily understand. Call Rowena now. The number is 240-9962 or 1-800-570-9962. Now here's the English girl in the mountains, the agent that I would trust, Rowena Patton.
All right. Good morning, everybody. You got Patrick Franzen here today, stepping in for Rowena Patton here with the Real Estate News Radio Show. Man, what a beautiful day we've got here. It's going to be 85 degrees and just spectacular, wide open sunshine skies. It is exciting. We're in Asheville, North Carolina, broadcasting here from the Fox studio here, and got Randy with me, my producer. We've got a show today. We're just going to cover a little bit. We've got a couple of segments we were going to go through. Want to thank you for coming over and listening to us. I know you got a busy morning this morning, but we're going to talk a little bit about land and building and sometimes what you need to be looking for as a consumer, and then, you know, what you need to do when you're selling your property. If you want to sell some lots, maybe the best thing to get it sold. It might be a little challenging. Of course, here in Western North Carolina, we've got a lot of challenging lots out there, you know, so we'll cover that a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about traveling the Parkway today and some of the benefits of living in Asheville or visiting Asheville. For my listeners out there, you know, we've got listeners all over. And I want to encourage you guys to give me a call if you can today. I know everybody's busy and it's beautiful, but if you've got a piece of property that you want to discuss or maybe mention on the radio, please give me a call, 828-240-9962. If it's a for sale by owner or being sold by another company, whatever, man, just call me in here and at 240-9962. That's WWNC there for our local listeners there, 240-9962. Now, of course, maybe you don't have time to call in today. You can always go to mountainhomehunt.com. There's where you can find properties that we have listed, but you can find every property that's listed throughout the Western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina. You can call, you can come to that website at mountainhomehunt.com and check out some really nice properties. They're going fast, you guys. A lot of properties have hit the market, and they just go overnight, you know. But then you've got some that are a little bit more challenging, and if they've been on the market a little while, it's either that they're extremely priced or they've got something the matter with them. Discovering and finding out what's the matter is a lot of times what you want to, you know, challenge. But we've got land here in Western North Carolina, and you can probably go on any website and find that we've got land everywhere. I mean, all kinds of lots for sale. And sometimes you'll see, well, it's been on the market for 449 days. Well, what's the matter with it? Well, that's probably just a raw piece of property. And so we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to sort of bring us up to date with what we have on the Parkway. When you leave out of Asheville, North Carolina, what can you experience? I'm just going to go over what I did this past weekend and took advantage of living in Asheville and discovering. Randy, I know you know a lot about the Parkway.
Oh, native here, and I grew up around it. I love the Blue Ridge Parkway. It is it's a national treasure. It really is. And so you traveled from Asheville up to Grandfather Mountain via the Parkway this past weekend?
Yeah, through the Parkway. And it took me about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
What a great drive.
Yeah. Oh, it's phenomenal.
2 hours.
It was so incredible, you guys. It was really cloudy, but it was breaking. So we get, you know, when you leave Asheville, you want to fill up your tank.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
Or a full battery running up the running up the Parkway, because gasoline is challenging when you get to 5,000 feet around here.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
so, go ahead and pull in and get you some snacks too.
Yeah.
Get you a Gatorade and some water, and some crackers and nuts and trail mix and whatnot.
And hit the bathrooms.
Hit the bathroom. And then get on the parkway. You know, when you leave out of here, you cruise up. You've got a bunch of lookouts. But my favorite first stop is Craggy Garden.
Yeah.
You know, you pull into Craggy and you just...
Cool when you get out of the car.
Beautiful. You've got Craggy Point. You've got a lookout observation area for our folks that are maybe not able to go up and hike to the top up to the point. You still can get incredible sunset views there.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, it's a lot about, you know, really cherishing the parkway, you know, and you can keep up with the mile markers, and you'll see different stuff at each mile marker. So when you go and look it up, I say get you a little map on your phone, look up the app, and find those mile markers. The next one that I like is Mount Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know, it's another 10 minutes past Craggy, which it takes about 40 minutes from Asheville to get up to Craggy on the curvy road at, you know, 45 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, with scenes everywhere and people.
Yeah.
And then you go to Mount Mitchell. And Mount Mitchell could be a day in itself, you know, hiking around. And there's a restaurant up there, and it was going full blaze. And, you know, so just past Mount Mitchell is a lookout that you look at Mount Mitchell. And it's beautiful. It's just off to the left. Then you've got long-range views for 100 million miles. It's just spectacular. Well, on this particular day, it was clear up top, but the clouds were under us. It looked like a pillow.
Beautiful.
A whole pillow, and then the mountains poking out of it and blue skies.
Wow,
it was the weirdest effect ever. You couldn't have painted this. It was so beautiful.
Sounds like it.
So you keep on going up the parkway, and you run into Little Switzerland.
Okay.
Right? So Little Switzerland, little coffee shop, bookshop, a really cool hotel. I don't know what you call it, but it's got everything in the world you'd ever want to do there. From pools. It's a resort of, you know, mountain resort, and it's just beautiful.
And a lot of chalets that you can rent up there for a weekend visit. The high country of Western North Carolina. And then you went on up to Grandfather, right?
Oh, yeah. We kept on cooking on the parkway. Now, of course, you know, Randy, if you're looking at Google, and most of us do when we're traveling,
right,
we want to see what kind of time it's going to take to get places. And, of course, I use Google all day long running around with my clients. I actually got another phone that I just use
for mapping.
Just mapping, so I can still be talking and doing and going.
Smart.
When I'm in the car. I don't know if it's smart. I got to drive too, but you know, I've conquered the art of tasking while I drive.
I'm sure
being a realtor, you know, we always have something going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, be careful of us. I guess we should drive around with signs on our car that says realtor.
Realtor may be driving with his knees.
Caution. So, you know, at one point in time, past past Little Switzerland on the parkway, there's a sign that says, collision area.
Oh, how sweet.
High collision area.
Okay.
What? Hold on, collision with what? You know. So you got to be, you know, it's a little scary up there on the parkway. You got to pay attention in some of these curves, and that's evidently when you've got a giant sign that says high collision area. You better pay attention to the road. Then we get around the corner, and you just see it, man. It's like
Grandfather Mountain.
Yeah, man, and it's quite spectacular. And then
you
even
see
on
the
way,
grandfather.
Oh yeah,
you see the grandfather.
The face and the feeling.
Yeah.
Now, Randy, you actually know who owns Grandfather Mountain.
Well, it's the family of Hugh Morton. Hugh Morton was the developer per se of Grandfather Mountain, and worked for so many years to preserve the mountain. When the Parkway came along and wanted to build nearby. Hugh Morton is responsible for the Parkway Viaduct,
right?
That engineering marvel that is curved around the mountain. His rule was you're not going to bulldoze off the top of this mountain.
Right.
And so the parkway got built around it, and that amazing engineering marvel, the viaduct, the grandfather viaduct they call it, and you should look that up. And you were real close to it. I'm not sure which side of the mountain that it's on is approaching on the parkway, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Google will have you going the quickest direction. That takes you up 26 to 19 to Highway 21 and cutting through some beautiful scenic areas too. So sometimes Google will try to get you to go the fastest way.
Yeah.
But if you want to go the Parkway, maybe adjust your driving directions to the scenic way.
Absolutely.
And,
I agree with that.
Go up the Parkway. It's going to take you an extra 20 minutes, but man, it's phenomenal.
I think that Google will tell you the fastest way is go down I-40 to Marion and then turn up 221.
Right.
And, a day of driving on the interstate is not enjoying the mountains, in my opinion. I'd rather go up the Parkway or through Burnsville, up Spruce Pine, and up that way.
Check out the minerals and
Boone, Blowing Rock, and check out all those great towns up in the high country.
The high country is just
incredible.
High country.
Yeah.
I also like to go over to Roan Mountain. I don't really like to brag about it, but right now, you guys, is when you prepare.
Yes.
Because the Rhododendron Festival is coming.
Yep.
And it's usually around June 15th, the middle of the month, on the weekend. I don't know.
It used to be, and I haven't read about or been to in many years, but it used to be they had a festival, a rhododendron festival with a queen and crowned and week-long festivities around the rhododendron bloom in Roan Mountain.
Roan Mountain.
Yeah.
Which is the North Carolina-Tennessee border.
Right.
And just spectacularly beautiful. It's got a lookout point that you can go to with a platform.
I haven't been there in years. Yeah.
And the platform's kind of new for folks that have been here all their lives. A lot of folks hadn't been there in 20 years.
Me.
Now it's got a platform.
Oh, cool.
And so you go out on the platform and stick your head over the platform, and it's like a geyser of air just blowing your head off because the air hits that mountain and it just goes straight up. And it's all evidence with all the trees because there's no limbs on the, the mountain-facing side of the tree is all full and looks beautiful, and then the other side, nothing. And it's because of the wind blowing. It's just beautiful area up there. I really don't even like to talk about it a whole lot. So I gave a lot of folks a top secret favorite hike. It's a half mile. You can drive in there. Now it's closed up until June 1st, that part of Roan Mountain.
Okay.
They closed the gates because of, I guess they don't have the manpower to man the gates, but we jump over the gate and go hiking up there. It's a 3-mile hike to that point, and you got the road a little bit for the hike, and but I did that a couple of weeks ago as well. So Roan Mountain, go check that out.
Yeah.
And look at some long, beautiful views. Take advantage of our western North Carolina high country.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the high country. A weekend in Boone and the Blowing Rock area is just heavenly. Banner Elk, and it's just beautiful. And so you went up on Grandfather Mountain. Did you go on the swinging bridge?
I did, guys, and they've just newly updated that, and it wasn't too quite crazy. I've got a heights kind of issue.
I do too.
Oh, man, I was tiptoeing across there, and Teresa, my girlfriend, was videoing me.
Okay.
As I tiptoed across this thing with a cautious face of,
I love it.
Man. Yeah, I'm that guy. But I did make it to the other side, and I went up to the top of the point, and it was rainy, and it was sprinkling,
Yeah.
And we were in a cloud. So that was kind of fun,
One time that I've been there, hang gliders were just stepping off the mountain.
Yeah, running off the parking lot.
Just stepping off of Grandfather Mountain and start floating.
There you go.
And it was cool as heck to watch. But I can't imagine the nerve to just step off.
My sister, Kim Petro, she
does that.
Yeah, well, she hadn't done it in a while, but as a younger person, she
Steps off.
would step off, and it would blow my mind. I just was amazed at her doing that.
Me too.
There's no way I could do it. I'm just sorry.
Uh-uh.
I don't know. Maybe I could do it. I've done a lot of adventurous stuff in my life. I'm sure I could, but I'd have to know whoever's driving the boat knows how to drive.
Get me home.
Right, get me home.
Grandfather Mountain's weather station. You can check out their weather observation station online, and I quite frequently check that, especially in the winter. It is amazing to see some of the winter weather conditions up on that mountain.
It's amazing, some of the wind speeds.
Yes.
And you can feel it when you're up there, the barometric pressure, I think is what I'm trying to say. My weatherman skills coming out. So, yeah, man, check it out. The Parkway is quite phenomenal. Now, we did come back the Parkway, but you can come back through some of those smaller towns.
Sure.
And go up to Boone, maybe get you a real good dinner and check out some of those mountain sceneries.
Boone, Blowing Rock, great area.
And there's a lot of camping.
Beach Mountain.
That's
what I was trying to think of. Beach Mountain.
Yeah, Beach Mountain. You can actually see Sugar Mountain, Beach Mountain from Grandfather Mountain.
Right.
And on a real clear day, you can see the slopes, and it's fun to look at in the summertime to look at those ski slopes that we've got here in the winter time. So, exploring our beautiful outdoors here in western North Carolina. We're so lucky.
Well, back to the main reason we're here. You need to know about these beautiful areas to show potential people who are moving here what kind of area they're really moving into and some of the things to see and do here.
Oh, we've got great, beautiful discoverability areas. Our French Broad river going through has created over a couple of 100 years, such an environment of bringing people here. Originally, I guess Asheville was the springs, the good water we had here that would heal tuberculosis and some of the other diseases going through at the time.
Mountain air.
Mountain air. And, so come check us out in Asheville. We've got plenty of places to stay. I've been having conversations about Airbnb. Almost all day, every day this week has been someone wanting to come here and either build or find an Airbnb
to operate and
operate. Here? Oh yeah, we want a house up in western North Carolina. We want to do an Airbnb, and it can be a lucrative thing. I'm going and looking at a house on Monday with some clients. It just happened. They don't want it for Airbnb. It just happens to be really cool. It's on the river. It's got a covered bridge, $100,000 covered bridge going across the river. It's right on the Pisgah, National Forest. It backs up to it, so you actually can walk up a trail right onto the Pisgah. Kind of a fun piece of property. Now, of course, it's priced. It's priced really nice too, So it's one of these properties, but they make $65,000 a year on Airbnb, and it is a job. The grandmother owns the home, and then the granddaughter takes care of the Airbnb and manages it. And they're selling because they're kind of just sort of. She's reaching her age to where she's got to make some decisions. And she's taking advantage of this economic cycle and selling at the top, and it's starting to drop off a little bit here locally. We've tailed off of what was the top. Last year was the tops. We're coming off of the tops throughout the whole western North Carolina area right now. We've found a little drop in the amount of time that's on the market has increased. A little drop in the price, a lot more price reduced on the market right now. But we're still, if it's a hot area, you guys, and it's, just outside of Asheville, because, short-term rentals, you can't do short-term rentals in the city. So we've got a lot of folks wanting to do Airbnb. And with that conversation, Airbnb is a lot of work. Just for you folks out there, you got to be dedicated to it. It's not just a couple hours a week and there you go. I'm sure if you paid somebody to do all the management and taking care of the cleaning, but they're going to be making most of the money if you have a company, and rightfully so because they're doing all the work. But you can also have the ability to pay for you a little bit towards your mortgage, but you've got to be really active to get that home out there in Airbnb and VRBO. You've got to have it really attractive. You've got to give those folks something to do, and water and views are typically what Airbnbs want to go and have if you're going on a vacation. So those are very lucrative areas in Western North Carolina, but there's a lot of folks that are looking at those properties. So if you're out looking, you find something that you like, there's 10 other people that like it too, if not more, and they're going to be putting offers. We've been going through multiple offers on hot properties in particular areas. If they're priced right, when I say priced right, you look at it, it says $380,000. It's in a great area. Other comparable homes around it is selling for $450 to $500. That home's probably going to have a higher offer, you guys, right now, just because there's a lot of folks with cash. 45% of our seniors are the buyers right now in this market, and 52% of the sellers are our seniors, 55 and older. And so with that, those folks have a lot of cash because they just sold a house they owned for 30 years. They're trying to find a home in Asheville and move here to retire and spend the rest of their years because of what we offer with our parks and just our entertainment and our eats and restaurants and our availability of entertainment and things to do. So folks come here, they've got a pile of money. That's what we're competing with when we're in the market. And at that 380 market, that's, the 300s is a lot of people looking in that price point because that's basically your first-time buyer's price point too. And at 380, a lot of times this place still has the original kitchen in it. It might have the original carpet still in it, and it is 20 years old. So there's going to be some things you're going to need to do to the home a lot of the time here in Western North Carolina with these houses because they will sell without the owner having to come in and really spruce it up a whole lot because the market, people want to be here. So we encourage you, if you have any homes that you would like to sell, to go to mountainhomehunt.com, and there you can find what's my home worth. And if you're selling, you'll also find, some really good blogs. We've got blogs on building. We've got blogs on finding a home, getting your house ready to sell. So check us out there, Rowena and myself and Nicole. We're all very dedicated to our clients. Our team is quite experienced and been in the market a long time, and certainly would love to help you. So you can give us a call over there at 828-333-4483. A little plug there for All-Star Powerhouse, Rowena Patton's All-Stars. And or we can come out and just look at your property. I'm going out in the morning. I'm looking at a property in Burnsville. It's going to be spectacular when we list it. They're wanting me to come out and get just a real good idea on the price, and then we want to sign the paperwork and get it up and going. It's going to be a real nice one there coming up on the market. So when we bring these up, a lot of times we'll do coming soon, and you can go to our website at mountainhomehunt.com and check those out. You'll see them coming soon. There you'll also find our other properties. But we've got an extensive network of properties with eXp Realty, which is who we are brokered by. We are our all-star powerhouse, and we're a team here that helps each other get our clients taken care of. And we offer a lot of nice tools there on the website. But then we also have a lot of nice tools to help you discover, get your home sold. We've got over 360 websites, you guys, to direct you to our listings. So got all kinds of, if you're a buyer, we've got programs that show what you are looking for. So we can come in. All you have to do is go to mountainhomehunt.com, register there with you. We'll put the properties that you're wanting and looking for right in your email. And it can be very specific, or it can be a general broad view. You know, right now it's sometimes you got to find something and make it what you want it to be. Locations definitely a big driver. But yeah, so come on out, visit us. We can go out and look at some homes. If you're thinking about moving or retiring here to Asheville, our team is experienced with seniors and in locating those homes. We know our area very well. So please communicate with us there at mountainhomehunt.com. Yeah, so land. We'll discuss land a little bit. We're going to take a little break for a second here and let our sponsors have a little bit of airtime. But we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about buying land and selling land in Western North Carolina specifically.
From the 570 Weather Center, this is your Weather Channel forecast.
Plenty of sun today as the high gets close to 84. Then an increase in cloud cover overnight with an occasional shower thunderstorm popping up as the low drops down to 59. Partly to mostly cloudy and a little bit cooler on Sunday. Tomorrow the high of 76. Once again, a few showers and thunderstorms can't be ruled out. And there may be a late day shower or thunderstorm popping up on Monday. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine as the high temperature eventually reaches the low 80s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
Ready to do this.
Get ready. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back.
This festival is insane to bring all these different types of music together.
Can you believe all the artists performing?
And this year, you'll be able to watch live on Hulu.
The biggest stars from all walks of music.
Be here as our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival lineup is revealed. Tuesday morning at 8 a.m.
Hi, this is Rick, and we sold our home with Rowena Patton at All-Star Powerhouse. We didn't really want to move, but needed to for my job. Our first realtor didn't listen, didn't care, didn't try. Not a single showing in 2 months. A friend recommended Rowena. She saw the hard work we'd put into the home, what it meant to us, and what it could mean to someone else. Next thing you know, it's sold. If you need to get your home sold and not just listed, you need to talk with Rowena Patton. Give her a call at 828-333-4483.
Don't let real estate pass you by with All-Star Powerhouse.
Rowena Patton here at All-Star Powerhouse. Sell it now. Don't wait. Call me at 828-333-4483.
Don't let real estate pass you by with All-Star Powerhouse.
This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton on News Radio 570 WWNC.
All right.
How about a little Sam and Dave?
A little bit of Sammy Davis.
Woo. Hold on, I'm coming.
Here I come, baby.
Here comes Patrick on the radio.
Patrick is here. Patrick Franzen filling in for Rowena Patton here on the Real Estate Radio Show. I want to thank everybody for listening in. We know that you're popping in for just a moment. Today we've been covering a little bit about the Parkway, and then we're covering building in Western North Carolina, buying land, selling land is the conversation. And really what we wanted to talk about was if you're looking for a piece of property to build your house, one of the things I often suggest, if it's a smaller lot, we need to make sure there's a couple of things going on. And so when you're buying a piece of property or a piece of land, raw land, I guess I should say, you really want to consider the time that you have in due diligence. Because during that time is when you discover. And here in North Carolina, we've got a discovery period, and we basically rent the property for a certain amount of money. And have the time to really find out about it, because North Carolina is a buyer beware state. So you've got to be sort of a little bit careful there when you're buying your property and finding out. So What I mean is when you've got a raw piece of property and it doesn't have a well and it doesn't have a septic on it, well, you don't know. You got to make sure that it would perk. And what I mean by perking is that, your solid waste is going to percolate not too fast and not too slow into the earth. Sometimes it can be too rocky and go too fast, and it doesn't purify it before it hits the water table. So there's a lot of things when it comes to perking that have to be looked into. You have to find someone or do it yourself to dig perk pits to make sure that when water sits in there, it slowly drains away. It doesn't sit there or stay there. If it stays there, then there's too much clay, or the earth's too hard, or solid rock. Here in western North Carolina, a lot of times you go down 2 feet and you hit solid granite. We are the mountains. And so with 2 feet, that's just not enough for the septic system to be able to drain. So they won't give you a septic permit. So you don't have a septic permit, you can't build. You're sitting with a lot that you can't do anything with. So you've got to really dig in and find out about the property. You've got to check and see, hey, do my neighbors have water? Did they drill? How far down did they have to drill? We've been finding, and this is just a throw it against the wall price, but about $5,000 for every 100 feet on a well when you're digging a well right now is what I'm hearing. Here's the other thing for my folks that are wanting to build. It's about 6 months out before you can get the well digger out there. We're really covered up with putting wells in. So there's, the well companies, they're awesome, and but they're busy. So it takes them a little bit. You've got to get permitting for it too. You've got to come out and find where you're going to put the well. Can you even get to where the well needs to be to find water? Is it on the side of a mountain that's solid rock? You're not going to find water, possibly. So you would have to do a cistern or capture the water out of a spring, possibly. If you got lucky, you can hit a spring with a well and have a nice well. Maybe you dig 100 feet and you hit water. Well, that's fantastic. You got lucky. Typically, it's about 300 feet is what I've been told by some of the guys doing wells. So that's $15,000. You got to add these costs into it. So what I often suggest is, so that you don't have to go through the discovery, these buyers, maybe you look for one that's got a septic and a well permit already in place. Or even better yet, it already has a well. It already has a septic. Maybe there's a single wide trailer sitting there that's wore out, that has zero value. It needs to be hauled off. Woo, perfect situation. You might have the ability to have a nice place that's already cleared out for a build spot, and you've already got a septic in place. Now, in this western North Carolina area, we didn't really have a whole lot of permitting prior to the 70s for septic. So when you're buying a home here, and if it's out in an area, rural area, a lot of times, in fact, 50% of the time, it doesn't have a septic permit. So it's a mystery. Where's the septic? So, that's one thing to consider if you do find a trailer that you want to haul off and then build. You might want to look into seeing what kind of septic it is. We have found that it's tough to find a septic field on the side of a mountain, and we've got a lot of side of the mountain properties here. So when you see a lot of these lots for sale for a long time, it's because it's a challenging build and challenging to find the water, challenging to find the septic field. So you can always talk with us here at All Star Powerhouse, because we're going to be able to make sure that time in place and make sure that you're able to find a good builder that'll help you. Right now, builders are busy, but, I've still got relationships with guys that would talk to you. I've got, great relationships with some really good builders that are phenomenal. We've got guys that really know this terrain up here, that building on a slope is a little bit different than building on flat land or, building on a solid foundation. Now, a lot of times you can't find bottom. What I mean by that is hitting granite and hitting the bottom and something that's hard enough to be able to support the structure. You'll find that mostly in the valleys in western North Carolina. Western North Carolina is surrounded by mountains and national parks. So although we have land for sale, if it's been on the market for a while, there's a reason. It's a little bit challenging. Your building costs are going to be a little bit more. During that due diligence time, when you're thinking about buying that property that you've got under contract, and you're really leaning towards it, have 2 or 3 builders go to the property and see if they can even get to it. A lot of times I run into guys and they won't deal with going up these hills. They're so steep because they can't get trucks there. They can't get without tearing stuff up. And so there's cost involved there. Who's going to pay for tearing up the road and dealing with the homeowners association and making sure that you're getting concrete up to the top of the mountain. So you've got to investigate a lot. And so there are opportunities, though. And it's because it's a little bit more difficult to build here that there are opportunities. So give us a call over here at All-Star Powerhouse, 828-333-4483. We can help you understand building in western North Carolina, hold your hand with the builders, introduce you. We've got a lot of relationships. Of course, you can go to our website at mountainhomehunt.com and search through our resources we have there, the blogs. We can talk about financing. We've got great relationships here in western North Carolina with banks that will lend on land. Sometimes even 20% down is what I've been hearing lately. I've got a bank locally that will lend 25%, I think it was, on land, which is fantastic. So building a house, you've got to really be prepared in that you got to know what the cost to clear is. So get you a couple of builders out there, find out if they can get to it, find out what it's going to cost to clear and make that yard in the area that you need for the home. I've run into several properties that have septics in place. They have wells in place. They've got an area where they've cleared out a basement lot, and then life comes around. They didn't build. They decided to move to Florida. A spouse passed away. And injuries happen, medical problems. There's always something that gives you an opportunity, and those pop up here and there. They usually go fast, but we keep our eyes out for them. And if you want to communicate with us, and maybe you've got 6 months, a year to be able to find that property, which is typically what you need. And then you need 6 months to prepare. If you're going to be building a custom home, you got to sit down with an architect, learn the property, build the house pertaining to how the lot lays out. So there's a lot involved. Give yourself 6 months there and then start your construction, which is going to, that's going to take 9 months to a year on a 25 to 3,000 square foot home, custom built, probably 9 months, most builders. And depending on when you start the home, I always like to start the home, and when I've been building my own home, in January, and I try to get it done by August, and so that I'm ready to have it on the market and up for sale. That's just my particular way of doing it, because, you can build here in western North Carolina, and they will sell. We don't have enough homes. We don't have enough product. Although I have been seeing product come up here on the MLS. Canopy MLS is what we have here, and LOTSAR is the Land of the Sky Realtor Association here in western North Carolina, and we're all the realtors are members of this, and we put all of our information here, all of our listings, and that's how we share and go and find listings. So you give me a call, I can search and find pretty much what you're looking for. What I suggest when you're looking for building, find the area, pinpoint an area. You find where you want to live. Maybe it's Fairview, maybe it's Leicester, maybe it's opportunity over in Canton and in Waynesville area, which is just beautiful, exploding little area. Maybe it's Hendersonville, because you can't really find a house in Hendersonville without it going 10 offers, 15 offers, 105% over asking. Hendersonville's been super popular. Arden, Mills River, those areas are extremely popular areas, but you can still find opportunities. There's some communities popping up, but if you don't want to be in a HOA and find a piece of property out there and you want to build, there's all kinds of areas. Pick the area that you want to be in. Maybe it's Black Mountain. Maybe that's the area you want to be, over there close to being able to go up into the high country close by. You can shoot up straight from 40 up to 21 to our grandfather mountain areas, and check out, that area if you want to build. We can find lots there and builders that are local by there that can get you a home built. We'll hold your hand as your agent, though, if you want to hire us and have us find the land and then help find a builder. And then through the building process, we can make sure that you're having the home built of your dreams and not running into any problems. We've got relationships with these builders, and we'll hold your hand as you get your home built. So you can give us a call at 828-333-4483. My name's Patrick here at All-Star Powerhouse, Rowena Patton's All-Stars in Asheville, North Carolina. I want to thank you for listening. We've got all kinds of beautiful properties coming on. I think folks have been listening to us and saying, okay, well, we're bringing property on, but it's going fast still, you guys. I know interest rates are at 7%, but there's people out there that need homes to live in, and we're at a 40-year low of homes. It's like after World War II when the GI Bill came out for all our soldiers coming home needing houses. It's the same situation. We got a lot of houses out there that are needed and need folks to be built. So if you'd like to find out about a good area or my thoughts on building, would love to share with you. Give us a call, or you can come to mountainhomehunt.com and you can register there and fill in your information, and we'll give you a phone call. And go out and check out some lots. Pinpoint them, though, first, and find out the best, situation for you and your lifestyle and for your family. I've got some folks coming up. A lot of people from Florida come up to Western North Carolina. This is kind of their retreat, their haven, their way of getting away from a real busy lifestyle in Miami, and coming up here and getting some fresh air in Western North Carolina is appealing. And so I invite you guys from Florida needing to come up and get some temperature change. Enjoying some of this weather we've had in the last 3 weeks have just been incredible. In the evenings, it's been even down into the 40s. And so it's been providing some really good sleeping weather. And the power bill's been really excited this past month, too. It's not having to run as much. No heat, no air conditioner. So the temperature's been just perfect here, you guys. It's been nice in Western North Carolina. But yeah, I've got folks wanting to come up here, and what I'm hearing is 12 acres. That typically is about what folks think is enough space to sort of not have anybody around me, and they're looking for a little cottage feel on a river and backing up to a national park. And we've got those properties here. They're a little bit more expensive. I'd like to paint a picture just real quick before we go today, though. In Western North Carolina, if you can imagine a upside-down bell or a U-curve. So you have a U-curve, and what I'm describing is the terrain. So in the bottom there, in the bottom of your U, you've got a river, a road, maybe a railroad, a farm. And so that's pretty much the bottom area. And then as you creep up the U, you've got the middle range on the mountains, because what we're talking about is a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. And so, halfway up the mountain, you've got opportunities for, you got range views. Sometimes you got a little long view that you can have there. And then you've got the top of the mountain, and that's your 360 views. Typically what I've been finding is that down in the valley, those are historically, those are, family farms, and they're generational, and they're passed down to family members, and those are really hard to obtain when you're purchasing out shopping. So if you're out looking for a mini farm, or those are hard to get without paying the price. Those are usually a little bit flatter, got some pastoral, got some trees, an old farmhouse that maybe had been redone, and those are going to be $500,000 just for the land. So you're looking at $1 million for property and land, 12 acres in a flat area. Sometimes you can run across something that goes halfway upside the mountain and might not be as usable, but you can put a home site up there, and that might be what you're looking for. Those typically are going to be less in your 300s for the land. For that 12 acres, and then if it has a property or something, you might be in the 500s to 700s with a nice home on it. And then you go on up to the top of the mountain, and you're going to have a long driveway up to a beautiful home, and it's going to be in the millions. And it's for that 12 acres and a home, and it's probably going to be an outstanding home. So, maybe you can find a 750 opportunity up there. If it's just raw land, that's a rarity to find a flat spot that's cleared. You want to be prepared and bring your checkbook. But you can definitely find some beautiful, beautiful land areas and opportunities here. Smaller lots, a little bit more difficult if you're trying to find a smaller lot and it not have an HOA and a neighbor right next door because it had to be in a subdivision. They require subdivisions a lot of times if it's more than a lot or two on a piece of property. So finding that larger piece is sometimes a little bit easier than that small. I'm looking to build a tiny home on a quarter acre, half acre lot. Pretty hard to find, you guys. You can find them. They're on a slope. Does it have the ability to do a well, or does it have the ability to do a septic field? Those are the things you can discover. It takes a little bit of money to discover those. So you've got to be sort of, the cost of building a home and finding property. There's a little bit of risk in there. You got to sort of pony up a little bit of money and discover these things. Can it perk? Can I get a well? Those are some of the precautions that you have to do when you're building a home, and finding a good team to represent you and hold your hand and make sure that the property is going to work right for you is definitely highly suggested. And finding a good builder, which I've got some great builder relationships, and I'm more than happy to share them. Randy, we talked a little bit today about Western North Carolina and what we have to offer with our parkways and our national parks. And I just want to go back to that grandfather mountain.
Back to the high country. Huh?
Back to the, yeah. And so, I quite literally will probably be going back tomorrow.
Really?
Because it's going to be all sunny.
Yeah.
And today's gorgeous too for my friends that are thinking about doing something. You got plenty of time to get on that parkway and go discover it. Take your little snacks, fill up your gas tank, and scooch on up the parkway and come visit us. Those folks down listening throughout South Carolina, you guys drive on up, do you a day trip up in Asheville. Come check out some properties. Maybe think about doing an Airbnb, coming up and taking advantage of some of the opportunities we have. I'll hold your hand through it. It's all, it's not easy. So you need a professional to be able to hold your hand. And me and Rowena, we've found our passion, and that's real estate, and that's finding folks to find a good home for, and pairing a good home with a good family is something that's a passion of mine.
You can, I'm sure you guys have helped people to find a second home up in the high country.
Oh gosh, I've got a lot of second home buyers right now. That's pretty much who I'm working with.
Right.
Now I did do, I've got some folks, some families that have just come in, and I've got some single people, and we're looking for homes. And that tough market, man, that 300 to 400, Randy. Woo!
Hard
we
to
have
find.
put in contract after contract, but we finally got a home for a beautiful couple with a daughter that I've been helping. You know, we found them a home in Mars Hill.
Love Mars Hill.
It's just beautiful. This is close to the downtown area.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a coffee shop. There's a park. It's got the university there close by.
Yeah.
I was able to get them into a home right there. Now, this home needed a little bit of work, so when we went into it, we kind of knew, but we gave them asking price. We got the contract. Now, we had a little bit of a challenge. We had a FHA loan. And I say a little bit of a challenge. FHA requires a couple more inspections. They're going to be sure they're going to come in on appraisal, you know. And you just got to make sure that all your window screens and it's buttoned up, and they want to make sure there's not any open electrical outlets and nothing exposed that's going to hurt somebody. So FHA puts you through a couple of checks, a little bit more, inspections and that thing. But for your buyers, they can get in a home at 3.5%. Yeah, and a little bit lesser interest rate. So I don't know, to be able to push that through in this market's a little bit difficult because your sellers are wanting, of course they want a cash buyer, and they're getting those here and there. But then a lot of times they want a conventional loan. It's a little bit easier. You don't have to have all the inspections and a couple of the requirements. And the buyer's putting down 10, 20% with a conventional loan, maybe a little less risk. But, yeah, I was able to get these folks in with an FHA. We ended up negotiating it. It needed a new roof. Ends up these folks the sellers got their house under contract. Under contract in a house in Florida. So we ended up having them needing to sell the home. So they agreed to put us a new roof on, and then we got $10,000 towards another repair. And got this home really buttoned up for them. Ended up the appraisal came in low. The appraisals are starting to drop now, folks. So, it's a good time to think about selling before we really go down in our economic cycle. So, Clement Huglar came up with the economic cycle. But you guys, thank you so much for listening in today. I want to stress to all my listeners out there how important it is and how much we appreciate you and listening to our radio show. Want to thank you for calling us over at 828-333-4483, and be sure to come over to mountainhomehunt.com and check out our homes there we have for sale. And maybe you want to check out the value of your home. You can see what's my home worth there at mountainhomehunt.com. Rowena Patton's All-Star Powerhouse here in Asheville, North Carolina, here for all your real estate needs. We can help you with your building, your land purchases, your second homes, your Airbnbs, your commercial properties. Please give us a call, 828-333-4483, here with Rowena Patton's All-Stars. So, yeah, we enjoyed talking today about Western North Carolina. Be sure to come get on the Parkway and come visit with us in Asheville, North Carolina. We have a lot to offer for you folks that are stuck in a whole lot of concrete jungles. Come on out and get you some fresh air in Western North Carolina. And if you would, think about All-Star Powerhouse with EXP here in Western North Carolina.
Patrick, have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
This has been the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton. Visit Rowena and post your questions at radioasheville.com or call her at 828-210-1648.